All right, I am gone again today. I am so sorry. So I am going to go ahead and do read aloud again um, on the screencast. I know it's not as good as me being there in person, but I figured it was either me do it or you get to listen to Mr. Martin read. I'm sure he can't hear this right now, so just make sure you don't point and laugh at him because we don't want to hurt his feelings. So I'm going to go ahead and read aloud chapter 17 of Close to Famous. If you remember, Foster got really embarrassed because Miss Charlena realized that she couldn't read and called Foster on it basically. And then she told Foster, the same thing happened to me, but you kind of have to work your way through it. And I love Foster had this really great line here. Um, let's see. How she talks about how baking saved her. And baking is the thing that actually made her feel like everything was okay. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry. Oh, right here. Sorry. Still with you. I didn't know how to tell her that cooking saved me. I'd really like to know, Foster. Miss Charlena, in school, I feel like an all-out loser, but when I cook, I feel like I can beat the world. I'm going to tell you, as a teacher, I kind of like this part right here because it kind of gives me that little feeling where I just go, oh, Foster, I just want you to come to my classroom so I can just love on you and help you be the best kid that you can be. But we're going to go ahead and go with chapter 17, and we will go ahead and get started. Someday, I'm going to have a car like this. The wind whooshed through my hair as Miss Charlena zoomed down the road in her baby blue convertible. We passed the prison. Tall towers stood behind the razor wire fence. I was in a prison movie once, Miss Charlena told me. I played the wife of a murderer. I talked to women whose husbands were in jail. I visited prison so I could get into my role. And you know the number one thing that helped me find my character? What? I wasn't sure what she meant about finding her character. I went back to a time in my life when I felt scared, lonely, forgotten, and misunderstood, and I used those memories to create my character. She turned down the road to Kitty and Lester's house. I was up for an Oscar for that role. Wow, Miss Charlena. I've been nominated twice, actually. Never won. So you had to sit there smiling when someone else won? Mama let me stay up to see the Oscar show a few times. My face was hurting from the fake smile, and both times my dress was too tight, but I went home and hugged my Emmy and my Golden Globes and felt better. I used to hug Daddy's pillowcase when things hurt. I like this little moment here because it kind of talks about how even though they're missing things, they have other things that they can use to kind of help them feel better. She drove past the broken fence, pulled into the driveway, and stopped her little car next to the big tow truck. Kitty and Lester pulled my car out of a ditch once. How did it get in a ditch? She sighed. Let's just say I wasn't doing too well when I first moved back home. It must have been hard to come here after being in Hollywood. Foster, at that time in my life, any place I lived was guaranteed to be hard. Just then, Mama ran out of the bullet, dressed like she was going to meet a queen. She had all her makeup on. Her hair was wound up on top of her head, and she was wearing a fancy top, her best pants, and high heels. Miss Henley, I can't tell you what an honor it is to meet you. I've seen all your movies. You made me laugh and cry. She shook Miss Charlene's hand and said to me, What's this about the bleeding? I fell on my face, that's all. Mama looked at my bandaged knees. You've got a fine girl here, Miss Charlena said. Thank you kindly. Every movie you've made, I've seen at least 3 times. Mama was talking a little too loud. I appreciate it. And here you are, your very self. Here I am, but I must be going. Of course you must. Be going, that is. I'd never seen Mama like this. It's a pleasure. Is it all right for her to come by tomorrow? Absolutely, of course, no problem. Thank you for driving her home. I got out of the car. Miss Charlena, that thing you said about finding your character, what did you mean? An actor can't play a part well unless you understand who your character is, how they feel, where they're scared, what makes them tick, what makes them strong or weak. I'd find those places in my life where I felt like that and I'd let them come out in the acting. I can see why you almost got an Oscar. Almost, not quite. But you might still get one. I mean, you're old, but not ancient. Foster! Mama shouted. Careful, darling. Aging is a serious matter in Hollywood. I can't wait to get older. She revved the motor. There will be a point, I assure you, when that will change. She tooted her horn and drove off. We waved goodbye. Mama put her hand over her heart. I can't believe I just met Charlena Henley. I look at Mama's fancy outfit. Did you wear that to work? Don't be fresh. She grabbed my arm. Tell me everything. I'm going to go ahead and guess, just kind of by the way Mama was acting, the fact that she got all dressed up and her hair was done and she was talking a little too loud. It's kind of like she was super excited. I mean, imagine meeting like a really huge movie star, and that movie star, you not only get to meet him, but like your daughter would be hanging out with them. It almost seemed kind of like out of this world. All right, little break here. We're having fun, right? Sonny Kroll shouted it in his TV kitchen. Right, I shouted back. Today we're making... Oh, I don't know if you can handle it. I laughed. I can. His face got close to the screen, so close I wanted to touch his forehead. We're making the moistest, proudest cupcakes you've ever tasted. I'm ready. Now, I want you to commit this to memory because there's some people out there that think a cupcake is just a little dinky thing. Lester walked by. I was sitting on his couch watching the show. Who's that? Sonny Kroll, I told him. Lester sat down to watch as Sonny put his hands on the counter and leaned forward. There are 3 hard and fast rules for making a proper cupcake. Listen up for Kroll's cupcake commands. Number 1, no cupcake shall be small. Number 2, no cupcake shall have just a little frosting. And number 3, no cupcake shall be eaten alone. Lester chuckled. Do you hear me? Sonny shouted. He'd been a Marine sergeant before he got his cooking show. We hear you, Lester and I shouted back. We're going right to the powerhouse flavors here, chocolate and vanilla, and we'll be piling them higher and deeper. But first, you need to get your hands on the best cocoa you can find. Sonny went through the ingredients, which I already had. He measured cake flour, cocoa, and 1 1/4 teaspoons baking soda. Make sure it's fresh. He added 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. Mix all the dry ingredients in a bowl and feel good about yourself because you're making something that's going to give a lot of people joy. He got out another bowl and cracked 3 eggs into it. Now, add 1 2/3 cups of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, real vanilla extract please, and beat that egg mixture for 3 minutes on high with your mixer. And as you do, it's going to get creamy and smooth. Now, you reduce the speed to low and hold on to your heart, folks, because here comes the secret ingredient. Mayonnaise. I can hear you groaning, but have I ever lied to you? The answer is no, sir. Don't go running off on me. Measure out 1 cup of mayo and add it to the batter and beat that stuff until it's blended. Then you get 1 1/3 cups of water and add the flour mixture to the eggs mixture in batches, not all at once or it will get lumpy. Put in about 1/4 of the flour, then 1/4 of the water and blend. Do this 4 times and you've got serious batter. Frosting alone does not make a cupcake. We're building this baby from the ground up. He put the batter in paper liners, filled it 2/3 full, and put it in the oven. For 20 to 25 minutes, don't overbake. That's an order. I'm so making these, I told Lester. Don't you need to write this down? I pointed to my head. I remember everything. No kidding? Then Sonny showed the secret to his vanilla cupcakes. Sour cream, he whispered. Only you and me need to know this. The cupcakes came out big, and he piled on the frosting, put sprinkles on them. Then he put them in a fancy carrier, much fancier than mine, got his helmet from by the door, and headed outside. His motorcycle was sitting there like always. He put the cupcakes in the carrier behind the seat, climbed on the bike, and revved it. We're on this road together, and he zoomed off on that thing. Marines always ate better than Army, Lester mentioned. That Sonny's a good man. Someday I hope I'll be able to shake his hand and tell him all he's done for me. You ever write him a letter? Lester asked. No. Maybe you should. Believe me, Lester, if I could, I would. But here's where we kind of have to go back. It sounds like Foster would love to write a letter to Sonny, but why can't she? Mama let me stay up and make Sonny's mayonnaise cupcakes so I wouldn't forget the recipe. Once I get a recipe in my head and make it, I don't forget. Why this doesn't happen in school is one of life's big mysteries. After one bite of this cupcake, I knew I'd never forget the recipe. I was up early and rushed to get dressed so I could get to Miss Charlena's. I called Macon to see how he was feeling. Did you do everything at Miss Charlena's you needed to do yesterday? He demanded. Everything. And was she happy? I mean, it's not always easy to tell. She was happy. How do you know? She was nice, Macon. She was just nice. Nice? He started coughing. I've got to go. Take care of yourself. Tell me more about this nice, Foster. Lots more coughing. We're learning to work together, you know. He didn't know, but I didn't have time to explain, and if I did have time, I'm not sure I could have done it. I love this reaction here where he's like, she was nice? It's kind of out of character for her. So it seems like the way she acts around Foster, or maybe the way she's starting to act, is a little bit different from the way a lot of people in the community knew her. All right, it was a new day. I felt like I had cream filling inside me. I packed up 2 chocolate mayonnaise cupcakes for Miss Charlena and headed for her house. When I turned up Marigold Hill, it seemed like all the birds were singing for me. I got to Miss Charlena's back door and knocked. I waited, knocked again. I rang the doorbell. Her car was in the driveway. Where was she? Finally, Miss Charlena came to the door, but she looked different from how she did yesterday. Her hair was mussed. Her face looked long and tired. Miss Charlena, are you okay? The sickness has come back. She walked out of the kitchen, down the hall, and left me standing there. That's where we're going to stop for today. Hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you behave yourselves.